Hey guys, Stowgee here. We're a little over 3 weeks away from the launch of Destiny 2. Like many of you, I've had a number of questions about the upcoming sequel, especially since I played the hell out of the first game. The Destiny 1 beta felt like it had more from what I can remember, but the beta for Destiny 2 felt smaller. Everything felt slower right off the bat in Destiny 2 as well, but that is really only the start. Looking over the forums, players seem to be fairly split on the new direction that PvP is taking in Destiny 2. Time to kill is noticeably longer as the game seems to present a greater focus on gunplay and teamwork in this installment. This has certainly made it more difficult for solo players to dig in their heels, often finding themselves being rapidly team shot and down. The change to the weapon and ammo exchange has played into this in a big way, as special and heavy weapons from Destiny 1 have all been squandered away into one slot: power weapons. The alterations seem to be pushing Destiny into esports territory, but a lot of Guardians feel the game is losing its soul because of this. Of course, with the way things are going in the world of gaming, Destiny 2 certainly needs to have an esport presence. With games like Overwatch and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds sweeping through the territory, Destiny 2 certainly has to make a mark. Weapons in Destiny 2 are still divided into 3 categories, but just like the power slot mentioned before, the other 2 inventory divisions have been shaken up, replacing primary, special, and heavy are kinetic, energy, and power weapons. Like I previously mentioned, special and heavy weapons have now been combined into a single slot under the banner of power. This slot will encompass the shotgun, sniper, fusion rifle, rocket launcher, grenade launcher, linear rifle, and sword weapon classes. This shook up things in the beta considerably, as now you had a game-changing decision to make for your loadout. Did you want a sniper rifle or a rocket launcher, shotgun or sword? Additionally, power ammo boxes only gave up their contents to the lone guardian that actually opened the crate. This meant only 2 guardians per cooldown would have access. This considerably revamped the way players approach the game mode, now opting to play more cohesively together. This of course meant lanes would be free of hard-scoping snipers and lone wolves leaping and sliding with their shotguns. The Crucible has become a completely new world. The other 2 weapon slots, kinetic and energy, consist solely of Destiny 1's primary weapons and sidearms. Guardians now had the option for heading into battle with new combinations of weapons: pulse rifles, hand cannons, auto rifles, scout rifles, sidearms, and the new submachine gun class could now be equipped together, further altering the landscape. The energy weapon slot even provided a new function in PvE. When facing enemies with energy shields, the same rules from Destiny 1 apply. Match the energy type of your weapon to their shield to bring it down quickly. However, in Destiny 2, when you drop your opponent's shield in this fashion, the energy field actually explodes, causing splash damage to nearby adds. This new feature is helpful considering one of the changes I and many other players protested in the beta: abilities have become a somewhat rare commodity. With that said though, the days of the environment dominated by class abilities may be gone. While they're certainly still in play, the cooldowns are longer across the board. Guardians have a new class ability to add to their arsenal. Warlocks are granted a Rift ability, which generates a ring within which Guardians can heal or receive a damage buff similar to Weapons of Light. Hunters now receive their dodge roll across both available classes in the beta. Finally, the Titan class ability summons a barrier for Guardians to hide behind for a relief from the enemies. These mostly new abilities added a few new elements of strategy to the game, but didn't quite make up for the painful cooldown times of our grenade and melee abilities. One glaring complaint that lingered after the completion of the beta, and one I myself disliked, was that the cooldown times for the supers seemed to be drawn out in particular. Many players said that they were barely able to get off one super activation in any given match, if that. The problem with this is, yep, you guessed it, PvE. We dove into the Vault of Glass to bring down Atheon, the Vex's conflux. We traveled to the moon and further into another realm to put an end to Crota and his threat to the Earth. When his father Oryx, the Taken King, rode in on his dreadnought with a thirst for revenge, we knocked down his door and put him to an end. We fought the Fallen. We toppled gods. We felt powerful. However, in Destiny 2 beta, we feel anything but powerful. With our abilities choked with what feels like an unending trickle modifier, our guardians felt like shells of their former glory. Even with the new ways to harness the light, it meant very little since we couldn't use it. Obviously, with this being a beta build of the game, some aspects of the game system may not be complete. Gear, for instance, was basic and may ultimately influence ability charge times in the full release. In one of the most recent This Week at Bungie, the studio covered changes they had already made that weren't included in the beta, as well as some that came at a response of the players. Super cooldowns have apparently been lowered across the board and abilities. Though their charge times remain high, we'll now pack a punch in PvE. That makes it worth our patience, or as they say. Reddit and Bungie's own forums are still abuzz about the changes of the game, both positive and negative. With less than a month before the launch, have Bungie's new promises changed your outlook on the sequel? How do you feel about changes? Like them? Hate them? Have suggestions on how they could improve? Let me know in the comments below, as I'm curious to hear what you think. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video. I hate scripts. In my bathroom, reading script. Sweat my off. Starting to sweat my off. I feel like Ron Burgundy.
Bye-bye.